We have Val Woodburn making his move to 170 against the UFC debutant Open Elliott. What the fuck has Tapology done? This looks shit. Tapology's fucked up their app a little bit. Their website. This is really shitty. But anyway, I'm going to go with Open Elliott here. We don't know anything about Val Woodburn as a welterweight. He's never made welterweight before, I believe. This is his first time cutting the weight. You know, he is coming off a fight to Bo Nickel, but you know, Bo Nickel's a really good prospect. I'm just going to check. Has he ever fought at welterweight before? He's fought at light heavyweight before, but never welterweight. He's even fought as high as heavyweight. Now he's fighting at welterweight. That's really interesting. But I'm going to go with Open Elliott here. I think he's going to get this one done. I think he's going to be I think he's just going to be better skilled than Val Woodburn here. He's a welterweight. You know, he's going to have that welterweight skill set going for him here. You know, welterweights are just generally more talented than middleweights. Like, what works at middleweight isn't going to work for you at welterweight, in my opinion. Plus, Val Woodburn, short guy. I think he's got a reach disadvantage here. It doesn't actually say. Oh, Open Elliott's not got the longest reach either. He's powerful. Val Woodburn's powerful, but I think Open Elliott can get this one done. So I'm going to go with Open Elliott. I'm not super confident on this fight. I don't think Open Elliott's like the next big thing at welterweight or anything like that. Especially coming from that Dana White Contender Series season, that was an absolute fucking travesty. None of these fighters are going on to do much great things at the moment. It's like that season was generally cursed. But I am going to go with Open Elliott. Then moving on, we have Josh Quinlan versus Danny Barlow. Left hand to God is Danny Barlow's name, and I think he's going to use that left hand to God to knock out Joshua Quinlan. Now, both of these guys are brawlers. Joshua Quinlan, though, he looked fucking awful in his last fight. Now, I get that Trey Waters is not like a bad fighter by any means, but he looked completely lost. If he can't go in there and get the knockout, he's got nothing. Well, Danny Barlow can actually sort of offensively wrestle, so I feel like he's more well-rounded. I think because he's so much longer than Joshua Quinlan, I believe he's longer. Let me just double-check this. Yeah, there's an 8-inch reach advantage here for Danny Barlow. I think because he's longer, arguably more powerful. You know, he's coming in here undefeated. He's got that undefeated mindset that Quinlan had his last fight, so he's going to come in here and he knows that, you know, I knock most people out, so I'm going to knock this guy out. So I'm going to go with Danny Barlow. I think he gets this one done by KO. Then we have, now this fight's really interesting. We have Mayang Zhang versus Bredson Ribeiro. Now, I didn't think Ribeiro was very good before Dana White Contender Series. I wasn't very hyped up on the guy after watching his tape, but he did beat Bruno Lopez, who is a really good fighter, so I guess he is decent. But I'm going to go with Zhang here. I'm not super confident. Zhang did get knocked out by Askar Moskarov, that guy who faked his record. But outside of that, he's looked pretty decent. He knocked out... Oh, fuck, what's his name now? I can't even remember his name. George Tokos. Tuco, who trains at Sanford MMA, who's not like a great fighter himself, but he was being hyped up to win that fight, and he went in there and knocked him out. And Ribeiro's been chinned quite a few times. Both of these guys aren't the most durable guys. So it is really interesting, but I am going to take Zhang here. Like I say, I'm not super confident, but I'm going to go with the Chinese fighter. You know, he's training out of the Chinese... I'd imagine he's training out of that Chinese UFC PI. So I'd imagine he's probably improving quite a lot. Then we have Rinya Nakamura versus Carlos Vera. I'm going with Rinya Nakamura. Absolute lock of the card. He's going to fucking kill Carlos Vera. There's no fucking if, buts, and maybes about it. I think he's going to beat the shit out of Carlos Vera. Rinya Nakamura, very good, very young. Carlos Vera, not that great, a bit old. So yeah, I don't like this fight for Carlos Vera. So yeah, I'm going with Rinya Nakamura. I don't really think there's much else to say. I think he can win this fight however he wants. I generally do believe that. So I do believe Rinya Nakamura is going to get this fight done. Then moving on up, we have Marcos Rodrigo de Lima versus Justin Taffa. Now this is interesting. Marcos Rodrigo de Lima is a very good fighter, but he is coming off getting chinned. And you don't want to be coming off a KO loss when you do fight Justin Taffa. Now I know that loss was in like, what, July? So it has been a while. He's probably recovered, but I'm going to go with Justin Taffa here. You know, it's fucking heavyweight, isn't it? It's fucking heavyweight. Rodrigo de Lima is a former middleweight. Like, he's not a natural heavyweight. Well, Justin Tuffer could never fucking ever get down to middleweight. Like, I'm sure he came out of the fucking womb 200 pounds. So I think that Justin Tuffer's going to get this one done. I think he's going to knock out Marcus Rodrigo de Lima here. And then it's probably Marcos is ranked, right? So that's a ranked opponent. So that's a pretty good turnaround for Justin Tuffer. You know, it's a period of time where I thought he was probably going to get cut. So I'm glad to see him turn it around because he's a very fun fighter to watch. Then we have Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. I think Amanda Lemos is going to get this one done by KO. Mackenzie Dern is just so hittable. Her striking defense is almost non-existent. You know, she's getting hit with big shots after big shot. Amanda Lemos just hits freakishly hard. And I see her going in there and fucking KOing Mackenzie Dern with one of those big, powerful right hands. You know, Mackenzie Dern can maybe grapple here, but Amanda Lemos, you know, when she's not fighting an absolute athletic freak like Weili Zhang, has pretty decent takedown defense. So I think she's going to get this one done. I really do. I'm going with Amanda Lemos. I just don't see how she loses this fight. And I know that's hard. That is the death fucking note to say that. But, you know, especially when it comes to women's fights, I'm not the best predictor of women's MMA, but I just can't see how Amanda Lemos doesn't go in there and chin Mackenzie down, especially already coming off like a KO loss in what, like, is that in like fucking November? Now she's coming back like 3 months later, like after getting fucking brutalized. She got dropped so many times, if I remember that fight correctly. She got beat up badly. You know, she's going to get in there and she's going to get dropped by Amanda Lemos, in my opinion. Then we have the first fight of the main card, which is Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. And I'm going against the mold here. I'm going against the favorite. I'm actually going to go with Anthony Hernandez here. I think he gets this one done. I'm really confident on him. I just think I like Roman Kopylov. I think he's a great boxer. I think he's a very fun fighter to watch. I love watching that guy fight. But the thing is, this is just a stylistic nightmare matchup for him. His takedown defense is good, but against like someone like Fluffy, who's just a chain wrestler, he's going to shoot takedown after takedown, has really good cardio, like amazing cardio. He's got good boxing himself. He can mix up to the body. I just think he's going to break Roman Kopylov in there. Now, I don't mean break as in Roman Kopilov's going to quit, but I think he's just going to be so exhausted he's not going to be able to do anything. And also, Anthony Hernandez has really good jiu-jitsu. Let's not forget, this guy subbed Rodrigo Vahaya. You know, Vahaya is a fucking world champion jiu-jitsu fighter, and I know obviously it's MMA, not jiu-jitsu, but he subbed a fucking jiu-jitsu world champion. Like, that is fucking impressive. So I think he's going to go in there. I think he's probably going to get a sub on a tired Roman Kopylov in like the second or third round. And I think he's gonna, he's gonna put some people on notice. People aren't hyped on him because he did lose to Kevin Holland like years ago, and he somehow lost to Marcus Perez, which isn't a good look. But this guy's wins over Brendan Allen, Vahaya, Edmund Shabazian. Like, he's beat some really good guys, so it's really interesting to see what happens with him. But I'm gonna take him to get this fight done against Roman Kopylov. I like Roman Kopylov though, so if he wins, I don't mind. Because it would be fun to see Roman Kopylov against these other guys in the middleweight division, especially because the thing is, there's no real grapplers in the middleweight division, so Roman Kopylov would probably beat a lot of these other guys in the middleweight rankings, but just this is like his worst matchup, and he's taking it on short notice as well, which isn't going to be good for him either. So I don't know, very interesting. And Merab Dvalishvili is fighting Henry Cejudo. I'm going to be going with Merab Dvalishvili here. I just think he's going to sort of total control his way and total strike his way to victory here. I just see him getting... Actually, this is honestly an interesting stylistic matchup, actually. Because, Cejudo's actually shorter than Merab. Merab's normally fighting guys taller than him, so it's going to be a bit harder to get those takedowns and get him pressed against the fence. He is fighting a pretty... he's 2-3 inches shorter. Like, that actually does help Cejudo here. It's actually an interesting matchup. The more I think about this fight, fucking hell, man. The whole time I was thinking Merab's going to get this one done, but I don't know. A part of me says that Cejudo has a fucking sneaky good chance. But I'm gonna take Merab anyway, just because he's the younger fighter at least. Cejudo's like a fucking 60-year-old man for bantamweight years. He's like 37. So I'm going to take Merab. I think he's going to get a decision here. I think he can just clinch his way to victory. I don't think he's going to get takedowns or anything like that. But I think he's going to be bigger and stronger than Cejudo at this point in his career. I think he's going to hold him up. He's going to use the Kamaru Usman type game plan, just hold him up, punch him to the body to victory here. And yeah, that's how I'm going to have Merab Dvalishvili getting this one done. Then we have Jeff Neal versus Ian Machado Gary. As much as it pains me to say, I'm going with Ian Machado Gary here. You know, Jeff Neal is good, but it's against certain stylistic matchups. I don't think this is a good stylistic matchup for him. You know, he doesn't do good against these long-rangey strikers. Like, he does better against, you know, wrestlers, guys who are trying to take him down, who he can just, you know, because he's got amazing takedown defense, good boxing. But against guys who are openly striking with him and they're long-rangey, they have longer reaches. Well, I actually think he might have a shorter reach. Ian Gary might have a shorter reach, but he's still a very long-rangey guy, 6'3" for the welterweight weight class. I think he's going to get this one done. I think he could just use his long-rangey weapons. I'm going to go with him to get a decision here. I don't think he's going to knock out Jeff Neal or anything like that. Just think he's going to kick at his leg. You know, point fight a little bit. It's going to look like the Wonderboy fight, except not as, you know, brutal. I think it's going to be a pretty boring fight. I think it's going to look very similar to the Darian Weeks fight, where, you know, it's just a bit of a bore fest. Maybe Jeff Neal can get it done if you count like the strikes with the hands a bit more. It's just going to be a really bad fight. I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this one. Maybe not a bad fight, but I feel like it's going to be a bit of a chess match. I don't think this is going to be like a back and forth war that people think it's going to be. But I'm going to go with Ian Gary. I think he's going to get the decision here. Maybe in the third round or something like that, we'll have a bit of a scare where maybe Jeff Neal starts to land some big shots on him. And Ian Gary has a really bad chin, so he could maybe get slapped in this fight, but I just think the range is going to be really difficult for Jeff Neal to negate. Like, even Neil Magny was giving him fits, and we've seen how Ian Gary versus Neil Magny goes. Obviously, MMA math doesn't work, but you know, Ian Gary has proved he's a level above Neil Magny as a striker. I know Neil Magny clinched his way to victory, but I don't know. I just think long-rangey fighters always give Jeff Neal some problems, and I think Ian Gary is going to be the exact same. Then we have Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Now, we'll see if this fight actually happens or not. But I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker. A lot of people picking Paulo Costa, and I do love Paulo Costa. People won't believe me on this, but Paulo Costa at one point in time was my favorite middleweight. Like, above Robert Whittaker himself. Now, maybe that's just because he used to talk to me and followed me on Twitter. Maybe. But he is funny, and I like Paulo Costa a lot. But I just don't think Paulo Costa's that good. Like, I really don't think he's that great. Like, skill-wise, he's just not that good. He's just big, right? He's not that powerful. His power is really overrated. People act like he is some, you know, Ngannou type guy. If Paulo Costa lands on your chin, that's it. You're fucking done. But no, that is not Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa isn't that type of fighter. He's just not. He's a volume guy. He's more of a like a more powerful Max Holloway in a way. That's sort of his game. He's trying to get you against the fence, and he's just trying to unload volume after volume. Except his cardio is not that great either. It's not as bad as people overstate how bad his cardio is. He is fighting at a high pace, but you know, he can gas out, and we haven't seen him for 2 years, and he made Luke Rockhold look like he was still in his prime, which is not a good look, because Luke Rockhold then went on to lose to Mike Perry in BKFC, where he didn't look that good. So I'm going to take Robert Whittaker here. I know he lost to Dricus du Plessis, but it's fucking Dricus du Plessis. He's the middleweight champion. Like, that guy just has plot armor. He finds a way to win every fucking fight that he shouldn't win. And I'm sick of pretending he's not good. He is fucking good. He's the champion. I picked him against Strickland. I'm picking that man every fucking fight from now on until the end of fucking time, because Dricus du Plessis is good. That's why he beat Robert Whittaker, and you know, Robert Whittaker said he was injured or whatever. I don't know about that. I just think Dricus is a tough matchup for him. He's got fucking plot armor, but I think Robert Whittaker's going to win this fight against Paulo Costa. Neither of them are like big finishers. You know, Paulo Costa's last win was a decision against fucking, before Luke Rockhold, was a decision against Yoel Romero in like 2019. Like, both of these guys don't go out there and knock out fucking anybody. Like, Paulo Costa doesn't finish Luke Rockhold. He's the only person to beat him by decision, I'm pretty sure. Everyone else knocks that fucking guy out. Especially that version of Luke Rockhold. So I'm going to take Robert Whittaker. I think he can just, you know, jab at him. He's actually got a reach advantage here. When Robert Whittaker's got a reach advantage, he does his best work. You know, that's good. That's great for him to have a reach advantage. He can fight at a higher pace. He can mix it to the body. He can use his bouncing style, get out of range and everything. He's a lot faster. He has a big speed advantage. I just think he is going to get this one done. Now, maybe if he looks really washed, you know, then yeah, Paulo Costa might win. But even if he looks really washed, he'll probably have a back and forth fucking war like Paulo Costa did with Luke Rockhold. So I'm taking Robert Whittaker by decision. I think this is this one done. I think he's going to put on a good performance. And then we have the main event. Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria for the UFC Featherweight Championship. As much as it pains me to say, I'm sorry guys, but I'm going with Ilia Topuria to get fucking knocked out in the third round by Alexander Volkanovski. I think Alexander Volkanovski is going to get this fight done. I think he's going to win this fight. I know everyone's counting him out, but I'm hearing a lot of stuff. You know, I'm hearing a lot of chatter. I got my sources. I'm hearing Volk's looking fucking really good in this camp. He's looking fucking much better than he did for the Islam fight. I'm hearing he's fucking everybody up. He knows what to prepare for. He's prepared a really good game plan from what I've heard. And I think he's going to get this fight done. I think he matches up really well with Ilia Topuria. Recency bias aside, I know he got knocked out by Islam Makhachev, which is worrying. But that aside, what the fuck does Ilia Topuria have for him besides KO power? Like, he doesn't have head kicks. He's never thrown a head kick or a body kick in his life. He only kicks to the leg, which is, you know, sort of smart for his game plan. But he's very boxing heavy. I think Volk is faster. Even though he's older, I think he's the faster fighter. I think he's the better technical kickboxer. Ilia's got very sharp hands, very powerful. Maybe Topuria's probably got the better overall jiu-jitsu, but Volk's the better wrestler, I feel like. Better cardio, more experience, beat the better guys. More experience in these high situations, like these high stress situations like Volk has. Volk, you know, defended the belt multiple times. He's motivated. You know, people are underestimating him. That's when Volk puts on his best performances. I think he's going to beat up Ilia Topuria. The leg kicks are going to be big for him here. You know, Ilia Topuria never checks leg kicks. He was getting leg kicked by Josh Emmett of all people. Or I don't even remember Josh Emmett ever throwing a fucking leg kick in his life. And he was out leg kicking Ilia Topuria. So I really do like this fight for Alexander Volkanovski. I think he's going to get this one done. I think he can mix in the grappling here. I know Ilia was originally a jiu-jitsu artist. But I don't think that's going to matter in this thing, because Volk doesn't have a neck, and this guy won't fucking tap. I feel like they could tear his fucking arm apart, and he's still going to like, you thought you had me. He's like, you thought you had me? Well, you're done. I'm finished with you. You know, he'd just fucking be fine. He'd just fucking, yeah, come on, let's go, Ilia, you fucking idiot. Like, he'd just be prepared for it. Be out for the fucking next round. The guy's a fucking Terminator. I think he's got the much better cardio. People are going to point to that Josh Emmett fight and say, well, he's got pretty good cardio. It wasn't a high-paced fight. It was just him beating the fuck out of Josh Emmett. Like, Josh Emmett was fucking scared of him after he got dropped a few times, so it was very low pace. You know, we've seen him gas out against Yusuf Salal, but that was a short-notice fight, so I'm not going to use that too much against him, but I feel like, you know, we can see him gas out. And against Bryce Mitchell was landing some fucking paws on him, man. He was landing a lot. He fucking bruised up the eye, and we've seen when Bryce Mitchell fought Dan Ige, when he fought Dan Ige, and then when he fought Josh Emmett, you know, he's not a very good striker, but he was landing some paws on Ilia Topuria quite a lot. He was landing a lot of strikes. He managed to get him down as well. I think Volk's got a good fucking shot here. I think Volk's going to get this one done. I'm going to go with Volk, late TKO, probably decision though, if I'm going to be honest, but I don't know, I have a weird feeling Volk's going to like fucking break Ilia Topuria in that fight. Can he get chinned? He absolutely can. But I just think this is a good stylistic matchup for Alexander Volkanovski. Now, I could be wrong, like I say, but I don't know, I have a weirdly confident feeling that Volkanovski is going to get this one done. But anyway, that's all I've got to say on these fights. So give me your predictions in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So make sure you like this video, subscribe, and yeah, like I said, give me your thoughts on the fights. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Peace.